Hi, this is Ben Ivey, the fulfillment artist. And in this video, I'm going to teach you my best morning and evening routine of 2017. So I know what you're thinking. I'm going to start with the morning. I'm not. I'm going to start with the evening routine. Why? Because a good evening routine will lead you to an awesome morning routine. Okay? So everything I do in the evening now consists of the following. So the first thing I do is I look at the day that I've had, and then I look at the roles that I've played today. So whether it's going to the gym, I say, an ultimate Spartan warrior, right? Let's say it was I met with a possible partner in my business, and I say, I'm a collaboration king, right? So I do all the roles for my day, and that's a sort of fun thing. Then I look into some of the outcomes that I achieved. Did I achieve them? If I have, then I tick them off my list. And then I dive into planning tomorrow. So I plan tomorrow, I make sure it's time scheduled, I do it to a T, I put everything in, and then I'm ready to go sort of work-wise. Next is it switches up slightly depending on if I go to the gym or not. But let's say I am just having a normal time, I just go get some water and then I put it by my bed. If it's gym time, then what I would do is I'll get all my gym clothes out so that I know that I'm going to the gym the next day. And then I make myself a small protein shake and I get myself an apple and I just put them both in the fridge so that they're rare. Oh wow! So that they're there, ready for the morning for me to have before I go work out, because I usually work out early in the mornings, right? So now I go, okay, what's next? So next is I will just finish off messaging some people and then put my phone away and put that on charge at the end of my bed, set my alarm, and then I do this quite cool evening routine, which is I have a small book, it's about this big, and I write down my 3 wins of the day. So what was win number 1? I don't know, I met with this person and we're planning a trip to Italy, right? That's another thing is I had an awesome client session today, or whatever it is. So I write down my 3 wins, and then I say to myself, okay, what would I do different today? What would be one thing that I would do different that would really make a big impact? So I write down whatever that is, and then I ask myself a question. Now the reason that I ask myself a question is because it's utilizing your subconscious mind so that while you sleep, you're thinking about some sort of question, right? And then this is actually pretty cool. So the question could be, how can I impact people on a larger scale who may not have heard of me before? Or, how can I be a better boyfriend? Or just any sort of question so that you can start to think about it. Right, so I'll be thinking of that before I go to bed, and then depending on if I'm tired or not really tired, I will then dive into a book and just start to read that book and just to dive into some spiritual stuff or whatever it is that I'm reading at the moment to allow me to then gently snooze off. Oh, I also do one more thing, and that is one of my clients bought me it's a 5-year, 365-day question a day. Okay, so he asks you the same question for 365 days, and then you do them for year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. That's really cool. So I've also been doing that, and there's been some weird questions like, are you hungry? Who's your best friend at the moment? I mean, there's just some interesting stuff. And the reason that I do that is it adds to my awareness. So the more questions that I ask myself, the better awareness I get, and I can understand, where to move myself in the future. So that is the evening routine. So then I'm asleep. And I'll either wake up a little bit before my alarm or I wake up for my alarm. So for those of you who've listened to the morning routine, how to get up, this is basically what I do. So I then have some water, and then I grab an apple out of the fridge if it's a workout day. If it's not, I just go straight to my desk. And I sit at the desk and I do something called morning pages. So this is a very interesting practice. It's by a person called Julia Cameron. And basically you write 3 pages of A4 non-stop, and you just write about whatever's on your mind. So you write it takes about 20 to 30 minutes, but the reason that I do it is it allows me to deload my sort of subconscious mind, if that makes sense. So I've been thinking about lots in my sleep, and I just write down everything that's going on. Maybe I reflect on the day, and I just keep writing until it gets to 3 pages. And then I do my priming. So for those of you who've listened to these videos before, it's pretty simple. I do this breathing exercise where I go. It's very funny in the morning. My housemates and girlfriend will tell you all about that. It's very, very amusing. So I do that 30 times, then I take 2 deep breaths, and then I do it again 30 times, and then I take 2 deep breaths, and then I sit down, I ground myself, and I think of 3 things that I'm grateful for. Then I imagine light coming in and out, and then maybe some like a different colored light. It varies day to day. And then I basically do the equivalent of either a twin heart meditation. And you can type that in online. It's pretty interesting, where you just spread like love out of your hands just to everyone that you know. Or I just imagine energy being flowing to everyone. Either or, it depends on how I'm feeling. And then I imagine 3 things in my life that are going to be successful in the future, and I really visualize that. And then I sort of do my power move, and the Tony Robbins thing, and just to get myself really in the state ready to go. Then, and this is cool, and I really like this, I'd recommend this. So what I've done is I've recorded about 2.5 minutes of affirmations and conditioning my identity, right? So this will be interesting for you. So basically, an affirmation is something that you say to yourself of, I don't know, money flows to me and avalanches are of abundance, or I trust in myself and I know what I'm doing, or whatever it is. So when you're writing your affirmations, a good thing to do is you can say I am, but if you don't really believe it, you can say the word I choose, or you can say the word, I'm becoming. And you write them out, and what this is doing is this is conditioning your mind in the morning to really think about this, and you're priming yourself and really getting ready for the day. So I do that. So I listen to that first, and then I do something which is basically called conditioning my identity. So identity is a really, really big thing. Now, if you imagine that your state consists of your language, so what you actually say, right? Your focus, like what are you focusing on, and your physiology. So what I do is I say, okay, well, my physiology is like my shoulders back, head up, chest lifted, and I say that, and I get myself into that physiology of who I want to become. I think of, okay, what's my focus? How do I make it a win-win in the days that I have? How can I over-deliver to everyone who I meet, right? So that's focusing my mind on certain things. And then I say things like, I can do anything I set my mind to, right? And this is the language that I'm programming myself with. So I do these, and it literally lasts 2.5 minutes. And what I've done is I've linked that to binary beats, which is pretty cool. So it basically activates your left and right brain. There's loads of stuff there. You can type in binary beats online. There's loads of different stuff. And then after that, I now sit down and do about an hour of Chinese. And that's so I can get my Chinese to a very high level, improve my tones and everything. And then I start my day. So that could either be going to the gym, that could be just starting work, it could be giving someone a call, whatever it is. So that consists of my morning and evening routine. So if you've got to the end of this, you may be feeling slightly overwhelmed, you may think I'm doing all that already, but either way, hopefully you've got at least one point that you think could be quite cool to implement. Right? And this video could be something worth going back to just to see if different parts resonate with you, depending on where you are in your life. So what I would do is I'd write down maybe one key thing from this video, just something small that you actually want to start implementing, and then maybe track it. Oh, here we go. I've actually forgotten something. Typical, right? So what I forgot was, before I go to bed, I actually have an app, and this is actually very important, so I apologize that I've missed this. However, you've stayed this long, so you're getting some extra bonus stuff. So I have an app which is called Way of Life. It's a free app, but it basically tracks all your habits. So I fill that in, and whilst filling that in, there's different elements that I then move on to. So have I shared my daily winnings? So that could be sharing my stuff on Instagram or Snapchat or whatever it is. The next, and then there's lots of stuff on there, but the actual tangible things that I need to mention would be like my FitnessPal. So have I typed in everything to my FitnessPal food-wise? And then I'm measuring my energy. So have I filled in my document with the energy? Like, how was it during the day? What was the focus like? What was my sleep like? So that is added into the evening routine just before I put my phone away. I hope that was helpful. If anything else comes up, I'll make sure to add it into the comment section. But that is pretty much everything that you need. So utilize it, at least take one thing and start doing it, and measure it, and use the Way of Your Life app. I maybe put it next to your phone app for your alarm, so that you can see it every time. Like, the whole point of this is you're going to forget. So let's try and make your environment so that you can always find out what you need to do, so that you don't have to worry, basically. Because we are going to forget, so make it as easy as possible for you to be successful. So with that said, thank you very much for listening to the video, and I will speak to you next week, and I hope you have a wonderful evening and morning routine.